President Donald Trump's return from after being nearly assassinated is insane. Here's his first public appearance besides the golf course the next morning, but this is him at the Republican National Convention. He looks like a changed man. You're going to have to watch this video. Like, subscribe, Gospel Tommy.
Please welcome the next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag.
Do you hear people? They're saying fight, 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 because those were the words he said nearly after being assassinated when he got up, and there's that iconic photo of him going around everywhere. This is just insane. The music, the people cheering. It's like legends never die. He didn't die here. He's living.
The flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Now don't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it!
Comments here are amazing. The whole system attacking him, and he is still standing for us. History will remember Trump as one of the best. God bless Trump. He looks so sad, though. You could see the emotion in his face. You know that he knows he's lucky to be alive. He's a different man. Honestly, that's the one thing I noticed from his walkout. It's like a kind of somber. I don't know if, I would assume nearly being assassinated, right? Trump's a very strong, powerful man, but coming that close to death, I think it makes him realize, makes all of us realize, like, how not in control we are of our life. And I love that he credited God to saving his life. And I love just his resilience after this incident and showing up publicly. And they wanted him to have glass around him, bulletproof glass, but he was like, no, he's going to stand up against evil. And I think there are a lot of things that we still need answers to as Americans with this assassination attempt. But I want to change the mood here a little bit, because this video here is incredible, because it shows how incompetent one of the Secret Service members was that day at the attack. So this is like, I don't know, this video has like different moods. I mean, that was like a real like epic somber moment, but then also I want us to talk about like why did this happen in the first place when it shouldn't have.
After Secret Service Barbie, a highly trained member of the Secret Service, removes her weapon from its holster for the very first time in her career. She struggles to return her pea shooter as though it's her first day on the job. Fortuitously, her skills from a previous life as an amateur actress come into play, allowing her to convince.
I mean, come on, man. You're protecting a former president. I don't know anything about weapons or holstering a weapon, but you would think if you're carrying around that gun every single day, that it would be like muscle memory at a point, and it should be like something very simple to do. But she couldn't even do that.
Convincingly mimic the swift draw of the weapon and scan the horizon for threats. Chewing her gum nonchalantly, she attempts to exude a tactical demeanor, reminiscent of a fusion between the Blues Brothers and Rosie O'Donnell. Despite her efforts, our agents attempt to return her wireless hole punch to its home results in another failure. While she may have faltered at this most basic of tasks, she certainly looked cool while doing it.
This is a good video by Jesse Walters, and he's breaking down sort of what happened.
Why did it take 8 rounds to ring out before somebody returned fire? Sources tell Primetime that the counter sniper team that neutralized Crooks were Secret Service sharpshooters. But the Washington Post reports that the counter snipers were local cops. Now, if that's true, why is the Secret Service relying so heavily on locals? And why did the counter snipers who had their rifles trained on this assassin not shoot first?
Apparently, these snipers, there's reports that they were on him for 3 minutes. That this 20-year-old kid who was on this building, okay, they had him in their scopes for 3 minutes, but they were given a command not to shoot. And then there's just so much fishy stuff. Like, for example, there's videos out showing people telling the police, law enforcement nearby, that there's a shooter on that building. Okay, and no one took this guy out.
Why is the one agent's head popping up in the air? Why isn't he zeroed in on his scope? When the Secret Service descend on Trump, why'd they stay on stage for so long? If you listen closely, you can hear one of the female Secret Service agents completely confused.
Yeah, it's probably the one we saw who's trying to like holster her gun. This is probably her first day on the job, and she's like freaking out. I mean, it's like at this point, it's like laugh or cry because this is so ridiculous. Like, this so shouldn't have happened. I mean, someone died, so it's not all like I'm like, you know, laughing not because it's funny, but because it's so ridiculous. Like, we look like a laughing stock to the whole world. I mean, this volunteer fire chief sitting behind Donald Trump, shielded, I think is one of his kids and his wife from the bullets, and died that day for no reason whatsoever. If these Secret Service, if the law enforcement would have done their job, I mean, and it was just so obvious and evident. It wasn't that almost that they didn't do it. I feel like it's malicious. I feel like, you know, it's like during COVID when all of your conspiracies come true. It's one of those kind of things that they're not conspiracies anymore. It just shows how blatant the corruption is at all the 3-letter agencies. I mean, I'm just going to say it.
This lady wasn't prepared, and the Secret Service isn't answering any questions. They skipped out on their press conference last night, and today told us they wouldn't say anything. Some of the agents you're looking at don't look confident. How do you protect the president from sniper fire if you're not tall enough? Biden recently gave the head of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, a bonus. Cheadle's a Biden hire. She was on his detail when he was VP. And he brought her back, and her main focus has been hiring more women. One of her female agents just had a nervous breakdown on Kamala's detail. They covered up the cocaine in the White House, covered up for Hunter. Naomi Biden's agent had their vehicle carjacked. How is it that the head of the Secret Service hasn't tendered her resignation today? Why hasn't Biden fired Cheadle? Biden didn't fire anybody.
It's so joke because what's happening in America, it's not about merit. It's not about you actually having the skills to do a job. It's about meeting some quota, whether you're gay, whether you're of a certain race. That's what matters most, you know? And you see what happens when we have that kind of thinking. People literally almost die. Okay, it's just frustrating.
Didn't fire Mayorkas after the border. Cheadle's got to go. And nobody can trust this investigation, because the same people investigating this assassination attempt produced the Russia hoax, launched a coup against Trump, raided his house, and are trying to put him in prison now. Congressman Michael Waltz says reliable sources tell him the Trump team has been putting in repeated requests for stronger Secret Service protection. The Secret Service denied this claim, but Obama had sheaths of bulletproof glass shielding him when he was running for president. And the Secret Service won't even check a roof with a clear line of sight to Trump's stage? This is one of the biggest moments in American history. We were an inch away from a live execution, and we deserve accountability, not a cover-up. If Trump can stay alive until November, he wins. But he has to stay alive as president, too. There was an angel in Pennsylvania last night. Donald Trump has been blessed. Sources say the president understands the moment and going forward will be running on peace, unity, and love. So hug your friends and family and embrace this message, but also brace yourself for more darkness, because they'll stop at nothing.
Totally. I mean, that was a really good warning. I agree. I think this is going to be a crazy year. I think this is just the start of what else they'll try to do. I don't know if you want to call it the deep state, whatever, demonic powers. Trump is standing for freedom for Americans. Is he perfect? No. Okay. If you like, the only perfect person is Jesus Christ. Okay. And has he done things that, aren't the best? Yeah, like all of us have. And is there an excuse for that? No, he shouldn't be excused. But it's like, if I want someone to be my spiritual leader, I'm going to look to a pastor. I'm going to look to Jesus. Donald Trump isn't running as a pastor. He's running as a presidential candidate who actually has been one of the most pro-Christian candidates to have ever existed. So it's like, as a Christian, if you're not voting, okay, I mean, we literally have freedom, okay? Like, we're made in the image of God, and part of that is to have freedom, to make choices. God didn't force anyone to be a believer. Do you notice that? Like, God, like, from the beginning of time, he even gave the devil and the angels, well, Satan, Lucifer was an angel in heaven, he gave them freedom to choose whether they want to follow God or not. And obviously they didn't. And so God has always given the power of choice. But what the left wants to do is they want to take away any freedom that we have so that we could turn into almost like a communist country like China, like North Korea, and that they could sit in power and have all the wealth and all of us will be poor and be thrown into jail and prison. I mean, I don't want to be dramatic, but that's the way things are going. I mean, I spoke about Newsom passing this bill in one of my videos the other day, prohibiting schools, teachers from letting parents know if their kid is now identifying as a different gender or different sexuality. They want to control us at every single level. And us as the American people, there needs to be answers for what happened. I think it's going to be scary times. I hope Trump really ramps up his protection, his security detail, because the only way they could get him at this point, like Jesse Waters mentioned, is if they kill him, if they take him out. So will they try to make another COVID situation happen this year? I don't know. I think they will stop at nothing because we are at like a precipice. We're at a turning point in our nation. Where things are going to go radically one way or the other. Is Donald Trump the answer to everything? Obviously not. Jesus Christ is the answer. And we need to pray for Biden. We need to pray for Trump. But we also need to support those who are friends to Israel, those who are friends to Christians. And, there is no separation between the church and politics and the world. Us as Christians, we're supposed to be salt and light into everywhere we go, and ultimately Jesus is coming back and there's going to be a new heaven and new earth and he's going to set up his heavenly kingdom or whatever, so it's not like America isn't the end all be all, but God has given us a voice, and we are supposed to be a light on a hill, and we're supposed to speak out against darkness. And I think this is what this is all about. Too many Christians are afraid to say homosexuality is wrong, abortion's wrong. But it's like, now's the time to speak up, because it might be one of the last moments we ever have to speak up. And honestly, that's why I'm making these videos. My full-time job is a real estate agent, but I just look around and I don't see too many people speaking up against the darkness, against the evil taking place, And, if you want to support the victims of what happened here in Pennsylvania, there's a GoFundMe. It's almost raised $5 million, and it's for the gentleman who lost his life. His name's Corey. He was a volunteer fireman, and there also was 2 other people I heard that were critically injured. And it's pretty cool to see some of the top donations here. Catherine Oxenberg, Elon Musk gave $100,000, Steve Wynn, Ken Griffin, I think he's another billionaire, Heritage Foundation, UFC, Dana White, Kid Rock, Vivek. So a lot of people are banding together And I think us as Christians, we need to stop being so soft and apologetic for our views and beliefs. Okay, Jesus actually said he came to bring division. He divided families. Okay, so like Jesus went against the current religious leaders of the day, the Pharisees, the Sadducees. Okay, and he turned everything upside down, and that's why he was crucified. Okay, so we need to toughen up, Buttercup. So make sure to like and subscribe. This video went all kinds of ways. We started out with that epic walkout with Trump because it was just cool seeing him. So he looked so changed, and hopefully, he really will not just know about God, but have a relationship with Jesus. And then talking about how, this thing was probably a setup to assassinate him. Not probably, it is. And the American people need answers. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.